Welcome to our journey through Homer's The Odyssey. Today we're diving into Book 16, Father and Son Reunited. The mighty walls of Troy had burned a decade earlier. One by one, the Greek kings had sailed home to their families and kingdoms, welcomed as heroes and reclaiming their thrones. But one man was still missing, Odysseus, the clever and long-suffering king of Ithaca. For 10 long years after the fall of Troy, no reliable word had come. His grand palace now echoed with the noise of 108 arrogant suitors who feasted endlessly on his cattle, drank his wine, and plotted to force his wife Penelope into marriage. His son Telemachus had grown into a young man without a father's guidance. His loyal wife waited patiently, weaving by day and secretly unraveling her work by night. And his aging parents carried the heavy ache of wondering whether their beloved son still lived. In the humble hut of the swineherd Eumaeus, the long-separated father and son have finally come face to face. After Athena briefly restores Odysseus to his true form in front of Telemachus alone, the young man stares in disbelief. At first, he thinks he is looking upon a god who has descended from Olympus. But Odysseus, with tears in his eyes, gently reassures him, "I am no god. I am your father, the man who has suffered so many hardships and wandered for 20 long years, driven only by the hope of seeing you and your mother again." The embrace that follows is deep and emotional. Father and son cling to each other, weeping openly for all the lost years, the pain, the uncertainty, and the joy of this moment. For Telemachus, it is the fulfillment of a lifetime of longing. For Odysseus, it is the first real taste of home. Once their tears subside, they sit together and turn to the hard reality before them. Odysseus knows that if he is going to take back his rightful palace, he cannot do it alone. He needs trusted allies, so he begins carefully questioning Telemachus about the situation in the house. Who among the servants has remained loyal? Who has joined the suitors or looked the other way? Which men can be counted on when the fighting begins? Telemachus answers as best he can. He speaks highly of Eumaeus, the swineherd, whose faithfulness has already been proven. He mentions the old nurse Eurycleia and a few other servants who have stayed true in their hearts. But many others have been intimidated or tempted by the suitors' power. The numbers are daunting. Over 100 well-armed, arrogant men against just the two of them for now. Odysseus listens intently, his mind already working through strategies. They must continue using cunning rather than open force. He instructs Telemachus to return to the palace first and keep their reunion secret. The young man should observe quietly, note who can be trusted, and endure the suitors' insults a little longer. Odysseus, still disguised as the old beggar, will follow soon after. Together they will test loyalties, gather intelligence, and look for the right moment to strike. This conversation is not just about battle plans. It is about rebuilding the foundation of their home. Odysseus emphasizes the importance of knowing men's hearts before trusting them with their lives. Father and son speak with growing confidence, their bond strengthening through shared purpose and determination. Outside the hut, Eumaeus remains unaware of the king's true identity for now. The secret is guarded carefully, shared only between father and son until the moment is right. As the book closes, Odysseus and Telemachus stand united, not just as family, but as allies in a dangerous fight to restore justice and order to Ithaca. The walls are closing in on the suitors, even if they are unaware. If you're enjoying this journey through the Odyssey, I'd love it if you'd subscribe and share the show with someone who loves great stories. It really helps the podcast grow. In the next book, the disguised Odysseus will finally enter his own palace and begin testing the hearts of those inside. Thanks for joining me on this journey through Homer's The Odyssey. I'll see you soon for Book 17, where the king steps into the lion's den. Until then, choose your allies wisely.
Looking for more great storytelling? Check out History in Decades, the podcast that makes history feel alive and relevant. Each episode walks you through one decade at a time, from the early American colonies to the modern world. It's hosted by Jim Rand. It's engaging and full of the lessons we can still learn from the past. Search for History in Decades on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you listen. Download History in Decades podcast today.